In many projects, sometimes we want to send to the Arduino board a range of values, instead of just on or off. In those cases, we can use analog signals. That for traditional Arduino boards is a value between 0 and 1023, depending on the voltage we apply to that pin. The simplest way to understand analog inputs is with a potentiometer that can output different voltages depending on the position of the knob. The connection is very simple, with the ground 5 volts and the output of the potentiometer connected to the analog pin in the Arduino board. One thing to consider is that the Arduino board only has a few pins that can be used as an analog input. They are called A0, A1, A2, and so on. So you can only connect an analog component to any of these pins. Then in the setup, we can set that pin as an input. By default, all pins are set as inputs, but still it's a good practice to declare them in the setup to make things clear. In the loop, we do an analog read to receive the signal from the potentiometer connected in pin A0. We store that value in the variable we call analog value, and then we print that in the serial monitor. We can get a value between 0 and 1023 depending on the position of the knob. Then we can use that value to control anything we want. For example, let's control the brightness of an LED using the potentiometer. As I mentioned in previous videos, the analog write is a value between 0 and 255, but the analog read is between 0 and 1023. On these occasions, we can use a map function that can convert a range of values into another range. It works this way. First, mention the variable that is going to store the result. Then the variable where we're going to take the value from, that in this case is the potentiometer. The next two values we should put are the minimum and maximum values that we're going to read, that in this case is 0 and 1023. And the last two are the range we want the output to be, which in this case is between 0 and 255. Now we can write the LED with the value we got from the mapping function. We also print all this in the serial monitor so we can see the result. Additionally, we can set limits to the range by using a constraint function that will do exactly that, limiting the minimum and maximum possible values. If the number is lower than the minimum allowed, it's going to show the minimum value. And if the value is higher than the maximum allowed, then it's going to show the maximum value. In this example, it's not really necessary, but I still include it so you can experiment with it. You don't have to remember the details of how to write everything though. What I suggest is always using examples to copy-paste the code of what you want. Even after many years of programming Arduinos, I still use this technique all the time. The reason is that the code is sensitive to upper and lowercase letters, and any small mistake writing the code will cause an error message or a weird behavior. So it's better to copy-paste codes that you know are good, instead of writing everything manually. Now that we know how to use analog inputs, the next step is to explore some other uses other than connecting a potentiometer. One of the most common sensors to use with analog inputs is the photoresistor and the thermistor. They are just components that change their resistance based on the conditions. The photoresistor is affected by light, and the thermistor is affected by temperature. To use an analog sensor like this, you need to add a resistor to create a voltage divider. Usually with a 10K resistor is fine. Now we can read the signal from the photoresistor using the analog input, and we can see how the value is affected by light. Same thing for the thermistor, but this one is affected by the temperature. In this case, you might want to change this value into a temperature unit. There are many ways to do that, but it can be tricky depending on the characteristics of the thermistor you're using. What I usually do in these situations where I want to take a reading and convert it into a real temperature is measuring the value when it's in a cold temperature that I know, using a real thermometer. And also measure a high temperature and then use the map function to convert the values from the analog input to a real temperature. I already did this for the Uno Learning Shield, so if you're using that, you can use my example sketch to get a fairly accurate temperature from the thermistor included there. But in general, these types of sensors are not very accurate. If you need more accuracy, you can use some other kind of sensor, but we'll talk about that in the next video. If you ever need to have a custom PCB for your projects, either your own design or from one downloaded from someone else, you can upload the Gerber files to PCBWay.com and they can manufacture it starting at $5 plus shipping. That makes it easier than using a generic prototype board. I hope it was helpful and see you in the next video. Bye bye.